Om Shanti. Today's Murli is about very subtle matters that need to be understood. And Baba today is saying that never sulk with Baba and the Brahmin family. So people have a habit of sulking, rootna. So Baba says, don't sulk with Baba and don't sulk with the Brahmin family. And today Baba is talking about weaknesses and mistakes. And Baba today says that after having donated your weaknesses, if you make a mistake, then tell Baba. So Baba says, sweet children, having donated your weaknesses, if you make any mistake, tell Baba about it. Don't consider yourself to be someone very clever. Never sulk with anyone. So this is something that needs to be understood very deeply. So first thing is, do I recognize I have weaknesses? Because in bhakti, we only thought that others need to change and I don't have any weaknesses, and I didn't even recognize that lust is a weakness or ego is a weakness. And what is ego again, So maybe I don't have ego of money, but then body consciousness is ego. We didn't realize that. So we didn't realize that, today Baba is talking about when there is an illness in the body and you get upset, Baba says that's body consciousness. So because that's a body and that's an old body. You see, it's an 84 birth body. So the soul has taken 84 births, and all the elements, the 5 elements with which the body is created, are all impure. So obviously the body that we are sitting in right now is likely to behave very unpredictably, because it is made of elements that are not reliable. So it's all impure and tamo pradhan. And so Baba says that when you have knowledge, you understand that the body is behaving exactly as it should, as the 84th body should. So you don't have to get upset if there is an illness. What you have to do is take the medicine. So, there is, and I have practically seen that the opposite happens. People are scared of medicines, but they are not scared of feeling upset. So, people get very upset when they're ill, but they don't take the right medicine. And then people have an idea that I shouldn't take medicine, but then if you don't want to take medicine, that's okay. But then your inner healing system will get activated only when you are in positivity, right? If you are upset and if you are miserable because there is a ache in the body or the body is behaving funny, then you are damaging the body further. So even if you think that, okay, this is a small thing and let me not take medicine and treat it on my own, then you must understand you cannot treat it by getting upset. So you, as much as you would like that I shouldn't take medicine and treat it myself, you first have to have the eligibility to treat your body. And if you're upset about it, and you will definitely be upset if you're body conscious. So when there is body consciousness, then this whole thing that I won't take medicine doesn't work. So Baba says, when you're soul conscious also, you should know when it is time to take the medicine. And you don't get upset because you understand that it's an old body and this is how it's going to behave. And then you give it the right medicine and it will be on the path of recovery. What's the problem? So Baba says that we must first know our weaknesses. And when we came to Baba, before that, we did not even know how to define weaknesses. So we didn't know that lust is a weakness, or anger is a weakness, or ego is a weakness, or attachment is a weakness. We didn't know all this. And everyone has to identify their weakness. So we have been living in a world until now where we have not identified weaknesses as weaknesses, let alone my weakness. Okay, so I never thought that ego is a weakness. So then whether I have ego or not never came up. And I didn't understand ego because I didn't understand that body consciousness is ego. Now we have to first identify what is a weakness, and then identify what weakness do I have. Yes, and then third thing is you donate it to Baba. That is, you give your weakness to Baba. And then take what Baba gives you in return. So Baba is giving us purity, love. So if I have attachment, then I have to give that attachment, give that weakness to Baba and take Baba's love. I have to spend enough time and thought with Baba so that I can fill my heart with Baba's love. And I must understand this process. And if I have, for every weakness, I need to fill myself with Baba and I have to donate that weakness. And there cannot be vacuum inside. So I have to fill that space with Baba's treasures. And each of us has to do that inner work. So first thing is donating weaknesses, because I think before we go to the other bits, whether I think I have weaknesses and I donate it is very important. And then when you make a mistake, so, even when you have identified the weakness, donated it, and then you make a mistake because some trace of the vice is still inside of you, then you will be able to figure out, this is a mistake I made. Yes, this is a mistake I made. And then what do? You tell that mistake, you accept that mistake. Now the thing is, we have grown up learning and understanding that a thief is not a thief until he gets caught. Yes, so when we were growing up, I have heard this thing that people say that a thief is not a thief until they get caught. So we were told that stealing is okay, but don't get caught. So this idea is there inside us. And then we don't mind that we made the mistake, but we mind that nobody figures out I made the mistake. And this is what is called the looking good syndrome. So now you don't want to be good, you want to look good. And then you try tooth and nail to look good, because believe me, when you are not good, looking good is a task, a big one. And then you spend all your thought and your energy and all your intellect in looking good. But being good is much simpler. Being good is easy. Being good is very, very simple. But to be good, you need to, work through those sanskars, because the sanskars that we have developed and the ideas with which we have worked until today tell us that it's okay to make a mistake, but make sure nobody finds out. And this is why people are not ashamed when they make a mistake. They are ashamed when people find out. So we don't have any, and I was discussing this in reference to that question that somebody asked, honesty with the self. Now, there is no honesty with the self, because we don't mind making the mistake. We only mind that nobody figures it out. Now, with this belief system, we have come from Dwapar Yug to Kali Yug, right? And we are going downhill every day. And now Baba says, if you want to ascend, if you want to do better, so there is a law which says if you do what you have always done, you will get what you have always got. If you want to get better, you do better. And how do you do better? So now you must understand that my weakness and the mistakes that it makes me do is costing me. So it doesn't only cost me when somebody figures it out and they insult me, or they look at me like I made a mistake. So it's not just that thing which costs me, but my karma costs me. So if I make a mistake, according to the karmic theory, I'm paying for it. And I must understand that every act, even when you look at with body conscious vision, so when your drishti also looks at a body, that's a mistake, that's a sin. So lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed, every thought, every word, every act that I perform under the influence of these vices is costing me. And when I understand this very well, then I will understand that I have to donate this, and then I realize that I made a mistake, and then I tell it to Baba. And when you tell it to Baba, when you share it with Baba, Baba will give you a direction. Baba will give you a Shrimad. Baba will give you something that will help you overcome that mistake. And in the earlier days, souls used to discuss everything with Brahma Baba. Now Baba says, you tell your mistakes to your instrument teacher. Okay, so you must say, you must disclose, you must share so that you can receive directions about how to deal with it. And then when you receive those directions, you must pay attention to them. And Baba says that if you make a mistake, tell Baba, don't think you are very clever. Yes, and there is a reason why Baba had to come from the soul world, and the basic issue is we cannot see our actions, we cannot see what a mess we are in. And the Murli and Baba's knowledge is very magical. It has a way of making us realize. And slowly, gradually, our third eye opens and we start seeing that which was very, very invisible. So, we cannot see the back of our head, can we? It's your own body. You cannot see this place. That's the blind spot. So our weaknesses have always been the blind spot, and Baba holds the mirror in such an angle that you are able to see those weaknesses and realize those mistakes. And until you realize, you cannot change. And there are so many belief systems, and one belief system is if you're sensitive, you are a good person, and if you're aggressive, you are a bad person. But Baba says, no, if you're sensitive, that's also a weakness. Be sensible, not sensitive. Baba never asks us to be sensitive. Baba says, be sensible, not sensitive. And you must realize that taking sorrow is an equal sin as giving sorrow. And if there is no taking sorrow, then giving sorrow will stop. Do you understand that? So all the sorrow givers are encouraged by the sorrow takers. If there are no sorrow takers, there won't be any sorrow givers. So when there is attachment and you have a soft corner, you are sensitive, you're crying and you're in pain because somebody is not treating you well, you just try being okay. When you are in an okay place where it doesn't disturb you, when it doesn't affect you, the other person will stop giving you sorrow. Because nobody wastes anything, They know that their action has an effect on you. When it stops having an effect on you, they stop giving it. So that's the thing, we are moving with so many belief systems, and Baba says that you have to very well understand what is your weakness and what is it that is the real cause of misery in your life. It's not somebody or something. You know that our whole universe rests on our state of being. So there must be something inside me that's attracting all of this. If there is something that's not okay outside, I must identify what is it inside me that's attracting all of that. And I must finish that. And every soul should realize that you have a right to happiness and dignity. But then you have to claim that right through your own action. Nobody can give that right to you. And so, identifying our weaknesses, donating them, and then checking whether I made a mistake, and then sharing it with Baba, taking the guidance. And even if you really identify your mistake, when you read the next day's Murli, you will listen that Baba has given you a solution. Baba is so intently listening to all that we are going through. And if you have identified your mistake and you've given it to Baba, even in remembrance, and you pay attention to the next day's Murli, Baba must have given you a solution. So Baba says, build this connection. Don't think you're very clever and don't sulk with anyone. Don't sulk with your teacher. Don't sulk with Baba. I won't read the Murli. No, I'm upset. Some people tell me I was upset today, so I didn't read the Murli. And then what? Then you're very happy, is it? So you don't show tantrums to someone who is there for you, to uplift you, to do good to you. Missing the Murli is not a good idea. So Baba says this today, and Baba says, don't think you're very clever, because we have no idea how much of a mess we are in and how much of a mess we are creating for ourselves for the future if we are not going according to Srimad. So, and that's why, I have a problem with many places who say, only the soul is enough and you don't need God. But no, you don't have the capacity to hold a mirror to your own weaknesses. God has. Because, and Baba today uses very clear sentences to say this. Baba says, Baba is the truth and you are becoming the truth. So Baba is the truth, and only when you keep checking your actions in the mirror of the truth, you will be able to clean yourself and bring yourself to that place where you are also clean and pure inside. But we need Baba, and without Baba, that's not possible. So we mustn't forget this. And sulking with Baba, missing classes, missing Murli, or not doing what Baba says is not going to benefit me in any way. So this is something. And then, so Baba says today, the question is, what should you think about and thereby maintain infinite happiness? So let's understand the first part. What should you think about and thereby maintain infinite happiness? So one thing we must understand, how you think determines how you feel. So if I'm not feeling happy, obviously I'm not thinking right. And your thought is your choice. So you want to feel happy, change the way you think. And today Baba says, think about how you are now studying Raj Yoga and how you will then become Sun and Moon dynasty kings. You will also build beautiful palaces. You are now going to your land of happiness via the land of peace. There everything will be first class. you will also receive very beautiful bodies free from disease. Do you think about this stuff? Do you think about how you are going to be a king and how you will build palaces and you will have beautiful bodies? How many of you think about these things? Yes, not many. Why? Because still, the influence of Ravan is there. And then, sometimes children say that I am not sure whether that is real and it doesn't resonate with me. But then you ask them what they think about, they say, I think whether I'll have COVID and tomorrow I'll die and my children will be left alone. So that's not imagination, right? This is imagination. So all good is imagination and all ill and evil and bad is real. Is it like that? And we have a very strange idea of fantasy. So, fantasy is always good and reality is always bad. Even when you categorize creative work, if it is about everything that is good and beautiful, you say it is a fantasy. And if it is about all that is bleak and dark and evil, you say it's reality. But that's just how you're trained to believe. So Baba says, everything, so the golden age is a reality. But because you don't think of it as a reality, it doesn't manifest as a reality. And Einstein said, your imagination is your preview to the future. So if you have this strange, bizarre idea of reality that everything sad and bad and dark and miserable is reality, and everything good and light and beautiful is fantasy, then you don't think about good and beautiful, and then you don't create it. So Baba says, if you want to have infinite happiness, so not just happiness by thinking about it, but if you think about the future that Baba is telling you about, then you will create it. And then you will have infinite happiness. You will have happiness for 21 births. So Baba says, think about this stuff, how you are sitting in Baba's lap and learning Raj Yoga. Baba is teaching you the knowledge, the yoga, the dharana, the seva that will make you the king of kings, the deity. And think about how you will feel as a deity, how you will behave as a deity, what you will be entitled to as a deity, and feel the happiness in the moment also, and also create the sanskars of happiness that will create the sansar of happiness. So Baba says these things, and then also, Baba talks about don't get upset when you have an illness in the body. And then today Baba also talks about something that's important, and Baba talks about regard to everyone. So, there is, some people say that in Baba's house also there is partiality. Yes, so some will receive more attention, more care, some will be looked after more than others. And Baba says that's not partiality, that's the law. And Baba says you get as much as you deserve. And Baba says, so Baba today, let me read that out to you. Baba says, You receive everything from Shiv Baba's store. You receive the imperishable jewels of knowledge and also everything for the livelihood of your bodies. So, those who stay inside, they also get everything for the livelihood of the body. You receive everything, nourishment for your intellects and nourishment for your bodies. If you still want something, you can ask for it. If you take something without asking for it, others who will see it also will do the same. It is better to ask for something. When children ask their father for something, he gives it to them. Wealthy ones would be able to get everything for their children, but what would poor ones do? This is Shiv Baba's treasure store. If you want something, you can ask for it. But everyone is going to receive according to their worthiness. You may have a desire to get something from Baba, and there is no problem with asking for it also. But you will be given according to your worthiness. Okay? And Baba says, you shouldn't compete with Baba, Mama, or the especially beloved children. So Baba says, those who are serviceable, Baba loves them and they will receive more. And you cannot say that this one receives so much, why don't I? And I will tell you one very interesting thing. So I once met with a small accident, and then in that accident, I was saved very beautifully. So there was no damage, no hurt, no loss. And then there was this sister, and she told me that somebody I know had a similar accident yesterday itself when you had it. But they were very badly hurt. And why were you not hurt? So I said, Baba saved me. So then she said, why didn't Baba save her? So I said, that you should ask her, not me. So do you get it? So you cannot say that I don't receive as much as the other. You must also realize I don't do as much as the other. So I'm talking about regard, I'm talking about protection, I'm talking about facilities, everything we receive according to our worthiness. And that's God's law. Yes, and nobody can challenge the law that you get as much as you deserve, can anybody? So Baba says that this is the law and we must understand this. And then Baba today says in the blessing, or let me also give one more thing that Baba says. Baba says today, children, you have to have a great interest in doing service. You have to rescue those who are drowning. In this too, charity begins at home. The father first of all uplifts the child Brahma. So you have to uplift your children, give them the donation of life. This study has to be studied till the end. So Baba has today given very clear directions that every Brahmin soul should make an effort to bring their children into Gyan. And those of you who have not made the effort to give the course to the children, you must. It's imperative. That's your first duty towards that soul. And you must do that. And there are many parents who say children don't listen, but can't you use your authority in this? So there are so many places where you use your authority, and this is the right place where you must use your authority. And every physical parent as a role in that in that role as a parent, you must not forget this duty. And Baba says, I teach my children, and Brahma is my first child. I take care that he understands everything, and you also have to do the same to your children. And that's very important. So do that. Every month the course is announced. So there is ample opportunity. It's conducted online. Register, make your children undertake the course. That's one responsibility you have to fulfill. And today's slogan is, become such a magnet of love that even those who defame you will come close to you and shower you with flowers. So Baba says, the magnet, the physical magnet is a physical thing, but it can exert the force that pulls pulls a piece of iron towards itself. So Baba says, can't you be a magnet of love? And if you are a magnet of love, then others, even those who apparently, they don't like you, or they also will be pulled towards you, and they will also shower you with love. And you have that capacity if you just be that magnet of love. So Baba says, don't forget that you have that potential, so you can be that magnet of love. But there is this process through which magnets are created. And so similarly, so just like physical magnets are created through a physical, there is this, I think magnetization, I was not very good at physics, so I wouldn't talk too much about it. But there is some process through which a magnet acquires the property of a magnet. And we also have to honor the process through which we become magnets of love. So only when you stay very close to Baba, when your heart is connected to Baba all the time, then you will become a magnet of love. Because you see, although we all want to be loveful, if your mind and your buddhi is always attached to the not so loveful, or somebody who makes mistakes, then you will also keep draining yourself unknowingly. So it's very important that everyone does what they want to do and they play their part. But I keep my man and buddhi so connected with Baba that Baba is able to shift me into a magnet of love. And then when I become that, then others will be pulled towards me. Even those who think they don't love me will shower me with love and regard. So we must pay attention to that. And I played that song in the beginning, Badla nahi lena kisi se, badal ke humko dikhana hai. So badla nahi lena kisi se, badal ke humko dikhana hai doesn't mean I have to change them. And it doesn't also mean I have to change myself in their context. No. When I stop thinking about anybody, when I detach my context from them, and I do everything in reference to Baba, when I see myself as a soul and I see my entire reference with Baba, when I see that I'm a soul and everything that I have, I want to be, everything is to be done in the context of Baba. There is no other human being in my context. Then I will change. So sometimes, you say, I don't have to take revenge from this person, but I have to change so that this person likes me. No, you have to totally change your context of thinking. No, that person is not your context. Your context is Baba. So that's why soul consciousness is important. When I am a soul and my whole context is Baba, then I will be able to take the love from Baba and turn into a magnet of love. Okay, Om Shanti.